And we are live. What is up, everybody? I apologize for the rare late start here, but just my 2 cents and Aaron the dog here for another breakdown show. Just gonna get this out of the way up top. It's just gonna be the two of us moving forward. Lubetia no longer has time for the show, so Lubetia's got plenty of other shows out there, so you can go check him out wherever. We'll miss all of his stuff, but won't do him the disservice of bringing those things up anymore, since those are his things for his brand. So best of luck, Lubetia. And UFC Apex time. We'll find someone else to watch soccer while they break down fights. But UFC Apex time. I'm not a big fan of the UFC Apex, and it's cards like this. I do have a lot of personal interest on this card, so I'm looking forward to breaking down just about every one of these fights. I kind of have I think, a unique insight and interest on each of these fights. But overall, this is not a good card. This is basically a high regional scene card, and I know that because I break down the high regional scene a lot. A lot of cancellations, late 5 round main events, just all sorts of kind of bullshit. So, maybe a little more of a fiery breakdown today. I'm moving, as you can see. The walls behind me are bare. Next week I will be in my new location, but it's moving week. Other bullshit in the world. How you doing? Just my 2 cents. I'm glad to see you.
I'm good, my friend. Likewise, always glad to be here. Shout out to you. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Yeah, dude, it's kind of like last week. It's like the card's pretty shitty overall, but I am kind of pumped about the main event. Like the main event's a good fight, so I can at least hang on to that. And there's a couple other, I guess, bouts that are kind of interesting. But yeah, man, looking forward to breaking it down.
Yeah, and I never make it a secret. Over under on the Haley fight falling through. One of those two. Like honestly, yeah, and I like Horth. We'll talk about it in a second. I always get this out of the way up front. Also, when I have a fighter on the card who I particularly have a vested interest in. Happened with Jillian Robertson a couple weeks ago. Yes, that worked out very well. This week we got a dog, and if you don't know who I'm talking about, you have not been paying attention to the last kind of couple of years, because I've been talking about this guy since he's been held out with his visa issue. It's Fernando Padilla. He's on the main card. And yeah, I'm not going to make it a secret. I'm picking Fernando Padilla there, but I will provide a lot of actual information and reasoning behind why. But yeah, it's Fernando Padilla week. That's what the thumbnail is. This dude deserves to be back, and I'll talk more about it, but it's kind of one of these stories that the media doesn't talk about because, for whatever reason, there's not the cloud attached or whatever it is. But this guy got signed to UFC at 24 years old after Dana White's looking for a fight at Fury FC, and then was held out for 2 years because of a visa issue. Like, it's just, I don't really get it. I don't understand the system. I'm not gonna, but it's extremely fucked up. This guy has literally the best attitude of anybody I've ever come across in this space. I'm more bitter about it than he is. And it just I'm just really excited for him to get back in and to get an opportunity like this. I'm not going to speculate on why he's getting such a really huge opportunity and a very good opportunity, but regardless, he's very, very ready for it. And if you want to get on the dog train with me, I'd suggest getting on it now, because I think money should be coming out on Padilla, and I mean that. So he spent 2 years from 24 to 26 getting much better and not feeling bad for himself. So I'm excited about that fight. Jake Collier's on this card. I mean, there's just some funny fights.
What more do you need, right, than a Jake Collier? I mean,
if there's anybody who's lost more money on Jake Collier than me, I don't know them. So, not really proud of that. We got my boy, Charles Johnson. So, yeah, I'm excited to break down the card here. Good to have you here, 2 cents. And, good to have everybody in the chat. Appreciate you guys all. We'll move on now to the fight that's probably going to get pulled. It's at bantamweight. It's Haley Cohen versus Jamie Lynn Horth. What can really be said about Haley Cohen at this point? We've broken down a couple of her fights now. I'm done really breaking her down. For the most part, she's decently athletic, but I mean, she just leaves a lot to be desired in her overall game. She has grappling holes, even though she does tend to go to the grappling on the feet. She hasn't particularly impressed me. The only thing she really does is just kind of can sometimes control opponents, but even that, I don't think is going to happen here. Jamie Lynn Horth, LFA champ. She's been out for 2 years because she tore her knee apart. So that sucks. She's 33. That sucks. But honestly, 5'7", 67-inch reach. I don't think she'll have a problem with the frame moving up to bantamweight, but bantamweight debut as well. That isn't great. She's 2 wins over Lupita Godinez in her amateur career back in 2017. Lupita Godinez lost to about 50 girls in her amateur career as well, but still, it is what it is. And then as a pro, a lot of pros will say they can't find anybody to fight. She really could not find anybody to fight. 7 fights pulled off. Jade Mason Wong, her best win, but she's now a bare knuckle fighter, but still really good kicks, really long kicks, good strikes. Doesn't put together really fluid combos, but she's going against Haley Cohen. So let's be honest. I think she can kind of keep Cohen at a distance before Cohen starts to panic wrestle. And Cohen leaves a lot of submission open as well. The thing I liked about Jamie Lynn in the last fight, she tore her knee in the middle of the fight and just had really good finishing instincts, still had a really good body triangle, put away the fight with the rear naked choke, her first submission or second submission of her career. Good striker, good enough in the grappling. I mean, I think she finishes Haley Cohen as well. She's been a finisher as a pro. She's had a couple years off. I'm hoping she's healthy, but Haley Cohen can greasy split decision because that's how she beats anybody. But I think that Jamie Lynn takes this one. So yeah, I'll take Jamie Lynn.
This is such a weird fight, dude, because if Horth wasn't 33 and didn't have the coming off the knee injury, it would just be like automatic, like shot on the dog here. What I'm a little worried about, you kind of mentioned it a little, like if it goes to a decision, for some reason, it seems like the UFC loves these like bubbly blondes. You know, Haley Cowan's the Texan, went to Baylor. So
I mean, look at how she even got her, like when she got her contract from Dana White, Dana was like, there's something about her. Can't put my finger on it.
Dude, like, it's like what I feel like we talk about her so much for not even having a fucking fight yet. So it's like I don't know, man. I could see if it goes to decision, I could see her winning a greasy split via like robbery, where everyone's like, dude, she fucking lost that. But other than that, yeah, I do. Like you said, with her getting the injury in the fight, man, she fought through it. I think she's more dogged. I think Horth is a little bit more mean than Haley Cowan. That kind of goes a long way with me and at low level women's MMA, especially. So yeah, I think it's a dog or pass situation. I'm probably not going to touch it, but if I was, it'd probably be on the Horth side. Other than the injury and the layoff, I think she wins. Probably finish her, like you said, like sub.
Yeah, no, I did have a bet on Horth early in the week at plus 105. So I'm fine getting her at plus money here. I'm going to trust the couple years away is good, and she's also going against Haley Cohen. But I also can't disagree with kind of the intangibles that come with Haley Cohen. So looking at the odds as they are right now, yeah, Jamie Lynn is now minus 145. Haley Cohen at plus 120. Like that is just, that's pretty much a pass at this point. I'm not trusting Horth as that level.
That's fucking gross, dude.
Yeah, that's not what I'm looking for. All right, next fight is, I think, a fight that's getting overhated. And I think that overall, I believe that you and I are kind of similar on Journey Newsom. I think we kind of give him more respect than a lot of people. At least, I just think like Anne LaForme was incredibly small compared to Cohen. Horth had issues with LaForme Bosa in the clinch. Yeah, that's fair enough. Mountain bets. Again, like Cohen. The public is anti-Cohen, so fair enough. You can get her at plus 120 now. With Journey Newsom, he's had some ups and downs. When you get knocked out by Randy Costa in 41 seconds, yeah, that's not great. We're going to be a little bit worried, but that's how Randy Costa is going to beat you is in 41 seconds. Who knows what happens after that? The Domingo Pilarte knockout was beautiful. I get it. He was on the sauce though. Although I think it might have been marijuana he failed for on that test. If I'm not
Yeah, it was just a
mistaken.
weed test.
Yeah. So and you've seen this power just kind of show up in pretty much all of his fights. It showed up in Fernie Garcia over and over again. It's how he won that decision, including in the third round, including at the end of the third round. So I hear a lot of people kind of mention Newsom has kind of gas issues and things like that. Um, I don't really feel that way. And Brian Kelleher, I think, is much more has his foot out the door than Newsom. The Murazov fight, it is what it is. Murazov kind of fought as well as he's fought in the UFC. And Brian Kelleher, I think, could go to the wrestling here. I think both these guys have a chance to go to the wrestling. It could be who goes to wrestling and uses it in this fight first, or maybe that's what ends up getting the person into a submission if it's Newsom with obviously the guillotine choke of Kelleher. But I get Kelleher's taking a step down. His last three fights are losses to Simon, Umar and Umar Nurmagomedov and Mario Batista. But he was really just like completely put out on those fights. Like they were not competitive, and he's been talking about retirement for a long time. He might just be one of these fighters who does that. But honestly, like I think that he's much more alive in this fight than people are giving him credit for. I could see Newsom getting knocked out. I could see Newsom getting submitted. I could see a decision. I could see both ways in that way. I think this is a really much closer fight, and I'm going with Journey Newsom in this spot. I think he could go to the wrestling and kind of make it kind of boring and get kind of a decision because, again, I don't like a guillotine defense, even if it's like effective. But like Brian Kelleher has been a lot of wars. He's starting to kind of show up for a paycheck. He's getting wins over Kevin Kroom and Domingo Pilarte by decision. Like, I don't think he's as dangerous as he once was. And I feel like Journey, shows up once every few fights, like sauced up. So, hopefully we're on the sauce journey. So I'll take Journey here. And I'm going to go with the decision. I feel like a lot of people are expecting this to be finished inside the distance, but I'll go with decision.
Yeah, dude, I gotta love the Journey Newsom take there. Yeah, I'm of a similar mind. On paper, look, they're two jobbers. Kelleher has obviously been like a higher end jobber. He has like a massive experience advantage, and a lot of people are going to look at Newsom, like you said, the Randy Costa knockout, the Benito Lopez knockout is a little concerning too. So yeah, I get that. Like people are like, oh yeah, Kelleher, boom, Kelleher. It's like Kelleher doesn't have that many knockouts in the UFC. It's like fucking Damian Stasiak and Hunter Azure. Like
yeah,
I know
Hunter Azure fight got him a ton of love, but yeah.
Dude, I know, but that made him like a viral sensation.
And Odie Osborne, who made the stupidest grappling decisions.
Dude, Hunter Azure is a fucking jobber. Honestly, like the power is pretty close. Newsom hits really hard. He didn't need 15 minutes to beat Domingo Pilarte. He just starched him with the first fucking punch that landed. And yeah, you mentioned it, Kelleher. Dude, he seems like he's just showing up for a check, man. And yes, like Umar is a great loss. I don't think Mario Batista is the best loss in the world. I think Mario Batista.
That's the way he lost to him.
Mario Batista is a little bit overrated. I think he's a little bit I think his win streak is a little bit overrated. It's against nothing but complete fucking jabronis. So like, Mario Batista is a good fighter, but I don't think that's the best loss in the world. That's a little concerning that he just got smoked like that. Journey Newsom is a fucking black belt. Straight up. Journey Newsom started training jiu-jitsu before Brian Kelleher even started his pro career. So he is the more dangerous sub threat to me. If anyone's going to get subbed trying to wrestle, it's Kelleher, honestly. Like, Journey, I think people are overlooking his grappling. Dude, Kelleher is a sub magnet. If we want to play the tapology game where we're like, oh, who has worse losses? Dude, it is Kelleher has multiple sub losses to absolute
a lot of damage.
Nobodies, dude. Like
shitty
fighters. Dude, he is a magnet for getting submitted. Dude, I'm kind of thinking Journey Newson clubs and subs him here, but I'm all over Journey Newson. I bet him early in the week. I got him at plus 142 on Monday. I saw the line and I was like, man, Kelleher, he's on the way out. You said it, 1 foot out the door. Give me Journey Newson as a dog. I'm not like guaranteeing a Newson win, but I think he's being slept on here, and I think he's going to get his first sub win in the UFC.
Yeah, I mean, take him to church here because we're both on the dog here in a Journey, and yeah, I like what you guys say. I bet the Journey sub price won't be bad either when that gets released. I'll be interested to see that. Yeah, the money's been zooming in on him, plus 115 now on Journey Newson. So early in the week was what to do there because at this point it's getting close to where I just got to pass, even though I do like Journey's chances of hearing what you got to say. Next fight. This is another bantamweight women's fight. 2 in the first 3 fights. Dare I say this is the dumber, worse women's fight? What is Irina Alkatseva doing in the UFC? Like, can you answer that for me?
I think they need warm bodies, bro. That's all I can think of.
Yeah, Stephanie Egger, I mean, at minus 275 is a parlay piece. That's how bad this matchup is. I just think as soon as Stephanie gets this to the ground, she's submitting this bitch. Like, this is bad stuff. Irina has her last win. By the way, she's nearly 33 years old, so she's not coming over here as like a young prospect at 4-0. Her last win was over Stephanie Page. Go watch a Stephanie Page fight and tell me what you think. She lost to an 8-6-2 Lilia Kazak with Pro FC in 2019. She hasn't fought since October of 2021. She was a silver medalist in judo back in 2014. Like, it's Egger by sub. Like, that's it. But Egger is a parlay piece. Add her to whoever you want because she's not losing here. Do you have anything to say about Irina?
Dude, this is one of those fights where, like, I was like, okay, I've never heard of this chick before. I'm going to have to tape her. Mm-hmm. I did the tape study and I learned fucking nothing. Like, I have the exact same read I did before. I'll say this. She did look like she's a little bit better of a striker, but I don't think it's going to matter. Like, Egger, she will get the fight to the ground somehow, some way, judo flip, something, and then probably end up subbing her. Like, I did not like what I saw against Kazak. None of her wins are impressive. She has fucking 5 fights. Egger's way more experienced. She's been in there against like more dangerous strikers, so I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think Egger probably puts her away, like first or second round submission. If Egger
goes to a decision, my stock on Egger is going down
for sure. And I've never been super high on Stephanie Egger, but it's like against a chick like this, like,
this is the problem though. As I said, up until minus 300 value, she's at minus 310 now. So
easy pass for me, but like,
you got to pass. Minus 270 though. I hooked her up in several parlays. Nice. So, and then Egger inside the distance at plus 135. I don't hate just because I could see her just getting it to the ground and pounding her.
What's Egger sub?
Egger by sub, I don't have available yet, but I just saw Johnny mention the plus 135 on the inside the distance. So
nice.
Yeah, either way, minus 310, plus 245. Rightfully so, money's come in on Stephanie. So at least there's that. But like, I'd be concerned if like this minus 270 number went the other way here. Because then I'd be like, what do people know?
Right.
So it is what it is. I don't really get how Irina was signed, but let's move on to an actual fight. And this is a really good fight. This is a very well matched up fight. This could be a fight of the night, or it could be kind of not a great fight, depending on who has their way. Cody Durden, Charles Johnson. For me, Cody Durden, he's going to come out and he's going to wrestle. He's going to come out and wrestle and have probably a good first round. After that first round, he's not going to have the tank left to do that game over and over again. Like, he's really, I feel like, first round sub or like very easy first round to where he doesn't have to overwork or bust, because he's not going to be able to win a decision here against Charles Johnson, in my opinion. Charles Johnson, he'll probably get taken down 7 times or something in the first round, but he'll get up 8 times. Like, he's gonna keep getting up. He's gonna tire out Cody Durden, and then on the feet, Cody's not gonna have the power left. I think after wrestling a lot in the first round, and maybe the draws in play a little bit here, but like. I also like, just because I think Cody could kind of Chris Gutierrez it again. But Charles just has such an advantage in cardio, in volume, in length, in strike diversity. Durden does have power, but like, I just don't think he has the gas needed to kind of lay on Charles Johnson, put him up against the cage for 15 minutes. So I just think at some point, Charles Johnson kind of takes control and doesn't relinquish the control. So I got Charles Johnson here. I am, planning on Cody Durden wrestling a lot. So I think it could be a good live bet situation. The draw could be live, as Moise mentioned. The fouls could be an issue. And Jack thinks that he doesn't have a cardio advantage. Johnson definitely has a cardio advantage. But Johnson has a cardio advantage over most in this division. So, I like Charles Johnson here by decision, but maybe live bet it could be. But yeah, I like Charles Johnson here.
I am on Johnson myself. It's a good fight. My concerns for Charles are Cody just being a rat, like a rat wrestler, and doing the Chris Gutierrez thing, like making the first round really dominant, the second round sketchy, like Cody wins the first half of it, Charles wins the second, Charles wins the third round. I do think in the third round, if Cody's still there, Johnson will be pretty live for a finish. Like, Cody's been pretty tough, but he's been hurt before. Mm-hmm. I don't like standing at range. Cody does have some pro boxing experience. It's not like he's like inept on the feet. I just think Johnson, with the reach and the activity and the cardio, I do like, he's got, even if you say that Durden doesn't have bad cardio, I know Charles Johnson has good cardio. I know he will work in every single round. If he gets you hurt, he'll definitely go for the finish. Yeah, I don't know, man. I thought about parlaying it. I haven't pulled the trigger yet, but I'm leaning Johnson. I think he's the best striker that Cody Durden's ever faced. Let's just get that out of the way now. So we're going to see Cody Durden tested on the feet for probably the first time if it stays that way. And but give me Johnson on Tapology. I may stick him in a parlay, but right now I'm kind of just waiting.
Yeah, minus 145 on Johnson. I think that, I don't mind it at all. I don't mind that Durden's never been knocked out. Johnson is not someone who seeks out the knockout. He kind of lets it come to him. So I don't think Johnson's against going to the distance. I think that Durden can control, and Jack saying thinks Durden can control him early if it's his fight to lose, because Johnson doesn't have big power and he's susceptible to being controlled. He's got a good get up game and not bad takedowns either. And if Cody doesn't have the takedowns, he's lost out there.
Yeah, Johnson does, man. Like, he hates being taken down. Like, the floor is like lava to him. He has
he got up like 25 times against Makhachev.
Yeah, and like I don't think Durden is quite as good a grappler as Makhachev. Like, I don't think he can push that pace like he can. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. So plus 120 on Durden, another plus 120 dog there, but we got Charles Johnson, the minus 145 favorite. Next fight, it's a heavyweight fight. Jake Collier is back. Boys, you know what that means. Time for me to lose some more money in a fight he wins against Martin Booty. Martin Boudet, whatever, Martin Bidet, whatever you want to call Martin. He's just a big old boy. And I can definitely see him getting control of the heavyweight that moves like a middleweight and throws a lot of volume. And then that's kind of how you beat Jake Collier, unfortunately. It's like you kind of just hold on to him, smother him, tire him out a little bit, take away his volume and movement, which is what Martin Boudet is going to try to do. What I like about Jake Collier is that he is really, really good with the leg kicks, really good with the volume. Yes, he did start to gas out against Chris Bennett, but that was, I think, more due to the grappling, which is not what he's going to be doing in this spot. I mean, it's been a rough go for the prototype at heavyweight. He's lost fights he's won. He's, I mean, the Felipe fight, I thought he won that. It was pretty disappointing. Chase Sherman did what he needed to do there. I thought he won the Arlovsky fight, and I thought he was winning the Chris Barnett fight until he wasn't. With Martin Budai, he's had two fights in the UFC so far. Wasn't very impressed by them. He got out of the Chris Barnett fight with the eye poke, and then there was a Lorenzo Hood fight where he was getting really hurt in that first round before he finished Hood, who just gassed out. I mean, I think we're in for another split decision type of thing here. Budai is gonna just use cage control and probably get a decision, but I can't go against my heart here. I'm taking Jake Collier. I'm taking the volume. I think the leg kicks get to Budai, slow him down. Budai's not able to hold him up against the cage. Jake Collier wins a decision. Volume, movement, speed.
I don't hate it because I am not touching this motherfucker. That's on everything I love. I am not touching this fight. This has split decision written all over it. Like, I'll be honest with you. I think Jake Collier is a fat, unmotivated middleweight. Like, he's like a middleweight that doesn't want to fucking invest in like strength and conditioning. To me, I think he's about as low level as it gets in the UFC heavy. Like, I'm trying to think of like 2 or 3 fighters that are worse than Jake Collier off the top of my head, like UFC heavyweights. I like, he's really bad. I don't
The guys he's lost to, he's better than Felipe. Yeah. He's better than Arlovsky.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like Sherman. Like, I mean, Arlovsky, whatever. Like, that was a close enough fight. I don't know. He
won that.
It's the wins are not very good. Like, even like again, like his robbery losses are his best performances. Like, that's not good. He sucks.
The Sherman fight was good.
Like, Bobo Sherman is terrible. Like, he is.
But he like passed it with flying colors.
Now he's cut. Or I
think Budai is not great.
No, he's not. That's why I'm not touching it. Like, I want nothing to do with this. I'll be rooting for your Collier bet to cash, but dude, no, I'm not touching it. No, thank you. I'll pick Budai by decision. Like, I think he will just kind of fat boy him, and yeah,
it seems to be what a lot of people think. I did get Collier with plus even money, so I got him at plus 100. He is now minus 110.
Nice.
So I got him with a plus in front of his name. Minus 110 on both sides now, so a little money has come in on Collier. Next fight, back to my specialty, the LFA. This is a glorified LFA fight here. Trey Waters was just in the LFA 2 weeks ago, losing a fight to Jalen Fuller, who, by the way, I picked Jalen Fuller to win that fight. I mean, he has good leg kicks, and he throws a lot of them, JJ. So he always throws his leg kicks. That's what I mean by good leg kicks. I'm not saying they're snapping or Edson Barboza. But Trey Waters, he was slightly favored against Jalen Fuller. I was all over Jalen Fuller. I was feeling really good till Waters kind of landed a very kind of tricky right hand in the second round. But I'm sorry, like, I get it. Trey Waters, he's long, he's tricky, but he winds up so much on these shots. He leaves himself so open. More crisp, more confident striker is going to put him away with that chin up. And Josh Quinlan is definitely that. I think Josh Quinlan will go to the body with the kicks before going up top and knocking out Trey Waters. I think first round could be very live as well here. Yeah, I'm not a Trey Waters believer, man. He took this on very short notice. He took quite a bit of punishment in that fight against Fuller, too. So I think he could come in as a compromise. I think Josh Quinlan's a better guy and comes in sauced up all the time, too. Another guy with good kicks everywhere. I think the legs could get really beat up, too. I think he beats up all 3 levels before going up top. I like Quinlan a lot in this spot. First or second round KO is what my lean is. I think Trey Waters gets taken out, though. I don't like him on short notice. I don't like him after not an easy fight with Jalen Fuller at all. He took a lot of shots. So he takes a lot of shots in general. Quinlan hits better striker. I just think Quinlan takes him out round 1 or 2.
I am not as high on Quinlan as most people are. I still I still need to see him against like a fucking good fighter. I don't think Waters is that, but like I don't know, man. I do think Quinlan is the side. Like Waters, he doesn't look bad on the feet. He moves his head a lot, but I think that's what's gonna be ultimately his undoing. I think he's gonna be like looking pretty good on the feet, and then he's gonna like slip the wrong way into a Quinlan left hook. I think Quinlan does knock him out, but I'm just for some reason I'm just not like completely sold on Quinlan. I don't think this is necessarily the guy to like expose him, but I'm probably gonna pass. But if I do, yeah, I think that Quinlan by knockout is probably the sharpest angle.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, no, I do like Quinlan in the spot, and pretty good odds on him as well at minus 176. I think, Trey is tough. He's never been knocked out too. So if you just want to take, him and parlay him up with Stephanie Egger to get that plus money, it could be kind of a 3-round war also. Trey is tricky as well, but I don't know. I don't rate him very, very highly. I'll be honest. I think that he got very lucky against Jalen Fuller, and I don't think he gets that lucky here. So that is the opener on the main card, too. As crazy as that is, Trey Waters is on it.
What?
Yep, main card. I mean, they had to put something. I don't know why they didn't put Charles Johnson and Durden, I guess, but yeah, that's their main card opener.
Thinking it's going to be some fucking highlight reel Quinlan knockout. That would be.
That would be hopeful. I'd be hopeful for that. But yeah, it doesn't get much better here. I think this is a terrible, potentially terrible heavyweight fight here. Waldo Cortez Acosta. You want to talk about limited? This guy needs it to be on the feet so badly. He's like makes Chase Sherman look well rounded. Like seriously. De Lima kind of has been blown out of proportion, I feel like, for being like needing to be a first round finisher. I do think that heavyweight he's got like is able to use his skills better. He's gone to a decision now at heavyweight, which is encouraging as well. He's got good power. Only lost in his last 4 being to Blagoy, which no shame there. I think he's going to look to take down Costa and just wear on him, and then probably submit him with like an arm triangle or something. Waldo's going to need this on the feet. He struggled on his feet. Struggled to the ground with guys like Thomas Peterson. Just in general, Waldo just very, very limited. Needs it to be on the feet where he can box. And I think that De Lima most likely takes this one. I just don't. But at the same point, I mean, Waldo Costa, I will say, has the cardio. If this stays on the feet, and if this stays on the feet, could definitely eke out a decision by out voluming, outpacing them. But I'll take De Lima on that, like tricking over my feet to, go here. But yeah, I got De Lima by, I'll say by submission.
Yeah, man. Look, if Waldo hauls off and starches him, it just is what it is. But I honestly don't see that. Like, Blagoy hit De Lima with some very fucking hard punches, and he just kind of fucking ate him. Like, I don't see that. That is Waldo's path to victory for me. Other than that, I think De Lima's better everywhere. Way more experience against a higher level of competition. Like his wins aren't like that great, but they're not abysmal either. Like, he's got a couple names on there. Like, they're way past it, but the experience, the well-roundedness, he's fucking tough. And that is honestly like a wild overhand from Waldo is the only way I can really see him winning this. I think if it goes to decision, De Lima's winning it. And yeah, I think he probably finishes him. Honestly. And dude, Waldo's been knocked out a couple times in boxing. It's not like he has a fucking iron chin. De Lima hits really fucking hard. I wouldn't be surprised to see him looking up at the lights. Definitely wouldn't surprise to see him fucking choked unconscious. But yeah, give me De Lima. I don't know how eager I am. I'll agree with you on that. I don't know how like eager I am to like run to the fucking window, but on Tapology for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty much a fade on Waldo here more than a belief on DeLima, if I'm being honest. So yeah, that's what makes it tough. And but it's a good number, man. It's minus 185 against Waldo here. I just think really DeLima should take this one, but yeah, Waldo undefeated. Still, he's eked out some decisions against some low level opponents, but plus 155. So there's a shot there if you want it, but we're both on DeLima. All right, time for the main event for me. Fernando Padilla, Julian Erosa. Both these guys, very, very long, 6'1" for both. Fernando Padilla has the reach advantage at 76 inch, 77 inch. I've seen it reach at. So that, for one, is, I think, not something that Julian Erosa has ever faced at featherweight, especially. And I think that could be kind of a issue for Erosa because I think it will force him to maybe feel he needs to close the distance, maybe even wrestle. I think that grappling wise, these guys are very close. But I think that Fernando Padilla does have the ability after he hurts his opponents to really engage in the grappling more. I really like both these guys in the clinch, but Erosa has been knocked out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Got starched by Bruce Leroy. Yeah, just like there is a lot. Yeah, he's got an iron chin, but he's also keeps getting cracked in it. And Fernando Padilla is been, as I said, he's been off for 2 years. He's been at Team Oyama during those 2 years, training, staying very, very ready, working with a ton of guys. He has not been injured. He's also not been taking the type of damage that Julian Erosa has taken. 7 years younger as well, at 26 years old. That is a weathered 33. And I just think that people who are in the know that Fernando Padilla has not just been sitting around. He is an extremely talented fighter. He got signed to UFC at 24 for a reason. I think he's had a tremendous fight with Dan Ige. That was a loss early on in his career that really, really helped. I think really, really helped him develop. The Spike Carlisle loss. Again, these are times where he didn't have the space and he was crowded and just overall kind of wrestled to decisions. I don't see Julian Erosa taking that approach. That's not who Julian Erosa is. He leaves his hands down a lot. I think both guys can switch stances as well. I think it's going to be an absolute war for however long it goes down. I'm not going against my boy. This is Padilla Nation. We're not going to hear any other. And the sharp money's coming in on Padilla. Great. Maybe they've been listening to us. Who knows? I don't care where they're getting it from. It's apparent when you guys see on Saturday night, this guy's going to be ready. Damage matters. Iron chins wear. Getting knocked out that way against Bruce Leroy. I get it was a beautiful setup by Bruce Leroy, but there's a lot more tape in the last few years on Julian Erosa than there is on Fernando Padilla. And he's got a very good camp behind him. He is on weight coming into this week. All I can tell you is when I've talked to him, which has not been a bunch this week, and now he's on quiet mode. But like I've never heard him sound so focused. And I've known him for 3 years now. I'm very, very excited to see him. He's earned this opportunity on a main card. I hope he gets his 50K. Man, I want to see him put Rosa away. I'd love to see the club and sub too, because I feel like knockouts are just going to be kind of excused at this point because Rosa's been knocked out so much. But it's going to be a war, man. But I think it's a great opportunity. Fernando knows what he's getting into. He's in the best shape I've ever seen him in. And I know that he's ready to show the world why he got this opportunity. It's been waiting for 2 years, man. He was supposed to be Sean Soriano last time out. And imagine what he would have done on Sean Soriano. But fuck the visa system. He was not injured at all during this time. I think that's huge to note. And yeah, he will take a fight against anybody. And I think that he lets the world know who Fernando Padilla is on Saturday night. Can't wait. Fernando, if you're watching, shout out to you, brother. You got the Dog Nation behind you. Dog approved. I've known this before. Fury. And by the way, his Nate Richardson fight was not a split decision. Go back and watch that. Not a split decision at all. And then the Graves fight speaks for itself. I can't wait to see him in there. Give me Fernando by KO.
Well, Aaron the Dog, my friend, I'll tell you this. When I first started taping this fight, and I did actually tape this one, I was very much on the fence about who I wanted to pick. One, I'm fucking atrocious at picking Julian Erosa fights. I just can't seem to get it right. The guy's a glass cannon. He does not have an iron chin. That he has the antithesis of an iron chins do not get cracked 6 fucking times. He does not have a good chin. He has a bad fucking chin. He is a glass.
He needs to put his hands up.
He is a glass fucking cannon. Offensively, in the first round, Julian Rose is a fucking buzzsaw. He's a motherfucker in the first round. Like he's a good striker. He has good counter striking with good power. He's good with punches and kicks, knees, but he's a glass jaw. You don't get knocked out by Bruce Leroy. And I think another thing that's not really been talked about a whole lot that I haven't heard a lot of people talk about, this is a quick turnaround for that.
Seriously.
For a dude that's been
huge knockout.
Times, it hasn't even been 6 months.
This reminds me in a very different way of Font versus Vera, where Font made that return after getting his orbital broken against Aldo really quickly, like less than 6 months later. And then he was not able to take the shots and lost a fight that probably, if you put Font against Vera on full response, like Vera probably loses.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was really on the fence. You pushed me over the edge. You sold me on Padilla. I am hopping aboard the Padilla train. If there's still a spot left, I'm going to be adding him. If it's still plus money, I will add him to my slate.
He's barely plus money, plus 110. Now I got him at plus 145 2 days ago.
Nice. So yeah, I'm leaning Padilla by knockout. I think if he wins, it's going to be by knockout. Or yeah, I like the club and sub too. So maybe
club and sub could be real live, man.
Yeah,
nasty triangle too.
He does, man. He does. So yeah, I'm gonna go Padilla. I'll probably throw him into the slate somewhere somehow. Probably might throw a couple farthings on the finish, like inside the distance, something like that. But yeah, I'll take Padilla.
Kelleher out. Newson got a new opponent. Do you know who it is, Bo?
What?
Kelleher's out.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Nope.
Oh my god.
Newson got a new opponent.
Who is it?
I'm waiting for Bo to say.
Oh.
And then yeah, Jack mentioning crazy out of line. I mean, as a Fernando Padilla believer, man, like I love to see it, but I think that I'd be curious. I haven't talked to a lot of other people about Fernando Padilla because that's not somebody I need to talk to many people about. I have a pretty good relationship there with him. And in general, like I feel like I have a good read on him, but I'm curious what other people are saying. Kelleher ducked the fade. Absolutely. Marcus McGee. No. Marcus McGee's in the UFC now.
What is that just going to get voided, I guess, because Kelleher?
Yeah, it just gets voided, and now you're going to have to bet Journey Newsom at minus 300 against Marcus McGee.
Yeah.
Marcus McGee is terrible. Journey Newsom by knockout.
Well, that money I just got back will go on Fernando.
What line did you get on Jack?
I got Journey at plus 142 against Kelleher. Early. Like I jumped on that. That's one of the first times in my whole life I've ever beaten the line movement.
Yep.
God damn.
Yeah, dude. Marcus McGee, he's out of the MMA lab. He's very green. He's really not good. Well, Journey Newsom's getting a win, so that's good for Journey. I'll give him credit for that. But yeah, that's not the first time, not the last time. But yeah, Marcus McGee, he was supposed to be on the Contender Series. But yeah, we're both on Fernando. Fernando plus 115 now, minus 140 on Julian. dare do I say, does Fernando become a favorite by fight night? Like, I will say this, Fernando, if anybody cares, Fernando does not care about odds. He really liked that he was an underdog, but he doesn't really care about the odds. He was very aware. He's very aware going into this week that people are expecting Erosa to be in here, and yeah, he that just does not concern him at all. So, really excited to see. Yeah, go ahead.
Dude, this is how it always is with Erosa. To me, this is what it has seemed like in his career. The people that you expect him to lose to, he beats, and it's the complete opposite with people you expect him to lose to. So that's why I feel like with so many people thinking Erosa is the side here, I feel like Padilla might be the look.
Yeah, I just think once people like look into why he's been out for 2 years, again, this dude's been training 5 to 6 times a week for the last 2 years. Like anytime I check in with him, anytime I get a voice message from him, you hear in the background, pads, other people, just got done working today. Can't wait to prove myself. Never feeling bad for himself either. Like, yeah. I cannot make that more clear.
Dude, he's a young fighter that has had 2 years now to just sharpen his tools.
Over bullshit, man. Over a visa issue, not over knee injury, not over a back issue, not over USADA, over a visa issue. And no one in the UFC, no one in the media, and I don't consider myself part of the media, I'm the only one who's talked about it for 2 years.
And it's not like he lost to the best years of his prime. It's like he's just now starting to come into his prime.
26. He's just now getting I'm so excited. And I mean, one thing that's going to be kind of interesting with Padilla for a while, if he wins this fight, like you're in that like Bruce Leroy fringe 15 category. So you're going to like have a lot of people say what was said earlier by one of the commenters who said it's hard when his best win is Cameron Graves. Yo, man, Mr. X, I told you at the fucking beginning, this is the Fernando Padilla show. Are you new here? Yes, it is. Look at the thumbnail. Go back to the beginning of the video. I warned you. Dude, I'm not going to hide. Anybody can comment and be like, Padilla, Dick Rider, whatever you want to say. He's my boy, man, and he's also a really good fucking fighter. And
y'all were warned.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I am not making any apologies. Didn't make it a couple weeks ago with Jillian. Not going to make it when there's a Fernando Padilla fight. I'm sorry, guys. Like, you can go find Fair and Balanced over on CNN because it's not going to be here. So, man, that was a corny fucking line. I'm sorry. I got a little carried away and got super corny. But no, I know, dude. Dude, you're fine. I'm not mad at you.
I'm mad.
People like when I rant, like, I'm not mad. I'm Jewish.
I'm furious at Mr. X, and I want to fight him now.
Yeah, no wonder he wears a vest. Yeah, no, I definitely wish him luck, and he appreciates all the love as well. Like, I will be very sad if he loses, but I also will not be completely discouraged. It is Julian Rosa after all, but it's a great opportunity for him. All right, next fight here. Back to just breaking down the card. Cody Brundage taking out Rodolfo Vieira here. This is a good fight, I guess. Like, I'll be honest, I'm never too excited for Rodolfo Vieira fights. Like, it's just hard for me to really fully, get behind him after the amount of hype that was on him coming into the UFC, and then just really haven't seen it come to fruition. Obviously, the Anthony Hernandez fight was rough. Faded him beautifully against Chris Curtis, where he won the first round, and then, he just fell off a cliff. He did have a third round finish of Dustin Stolfus after losing to him through, a big part of the fight. But yeah, like, I think Cody Brundage is the kind of guy he probably shines against, because it's like, what is Cody Brundage going to really bring here that's going to make Vieira uncomfortable? I guess it would be the pace. He had that overhand strike finish against Trishan Gore, but pretty sure his eyes were closed when he landed that strike, like legit. And after that, the way that Olajaychuk put him away kind of let me know a level that he's at. He got controlled against Maximov, got put away by William Knight. I think that he gets controlled and put away by Vieira here. I think that Brundage most likely tries to wrestle in this fight. Maybe he has success and Vieira has trouble from his back because Vieira hasn't shown a great back game. And I do think Brundage's best tool is his pace and his cardio, and that's like Vieira's worst tool. I just think Vieira is more plus with regards to his jiu-jitsu. And I just think that this is the type of guy who can give a guy his first kind of loss with regards to that. Also, I just don't really care about Cody Brundage. So I'll go with Vieira, not super confident at all.
The dogs have spoken.
Yep, maybe he's on Brundage.
Yeah, man, it's not a bad fight for a I mean, it's.
I'll be right back in 2 seconds.
Sure. So Vieira Brundage. Honestly, well, I'll start with Vieira. Obviously, like he got exposed by Fluffy. I think Fluffy's a good fighter. While I do think Brundage has pretty good cardio, I don't think he works at a Fluffy Hernandez pace. And he's kind of chinny. And Rodolfo Vieira does not have the worst striking in the world. I don't think he's getting knocked out. I don't think if you can go 3 rounds with Chris Curtis, I don't think Cody Brundage is gonna like just haul off and start you. So I think Vieira is okay on the feet. I do think Brundage has a slight cardio advantage, but I think this idea that Vieira has 1 round of cardio, I think that's a little bit of a false narrative too. I don't think he has terrible cardio. I don't think it's like incredible, but the grappling, dude, it is not fucking close. And that is a huge red flag. When you're supposed to be the wrestler and have the submission threat and you get reversed by Lord Mikael and then get smashed, nah, Vieira is going to fucking whoop you on the ground. Rodolfo Vieira, other than Chris Curtis, who, yeah, dude, like, fucking make Chris Curtis versus Cody Brundage and see what the fuck happens. It wouldn't get booked. Like, Rodolfo Vieira gets multiple takedowns. Everyone's talking about Brundage's wrestling. Other than the Chris Curtis fight, Vieira gets multiple takedowns in every fight. He's strong as fuck. If he's the one taking Cody down and he ends up on top, oh my God, is Cody going to get smashed? He's going to get smashed and then choked out. I think Vieira submits him. I think Brundage is a fucking jobber. Like, the losses to William Knight, it's not that if he had gotten like knocked out on the feet by Olszewski, it'd be different. But the fact that he got like beaten on the ground at like kind of his own game, man, he's doesn't have a great chin. Vieira has a huge grappling advantage. Yeah, it's Vieira all day for me.
Yeah, it's minus 240 is rough. I would never bet Rodolfo Vieira at minus 240. I mean, that's just simple as that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Brundage, like, I'm just not sure how he exactly wins this. Vieira is at Fusion XL. And I have heard different reports from a few fighters at Fusion XL at different times of being well aware of the gas issues of Rodolfo. They do show up in training as well as in the octagon. So definitely a way Cody can win this fight is just by being able to move after 5 minutes. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Rodolfo here. I'm not betting it and not really interested in it at minus 240. But
Cody fucking no, dude. If I parlayed,
Cody sucks. So he's got a beard now. I don't really care.
Dude, like, if I parlayed Vieira at minus 240 or whatever the fuck it's going to be by fight night and Brundage, like, ground out a fucking split, I would just throw up in my mouth. I'm not going to have that happen, but yeah, I'll pick him.
Yeah. All right. We're going to move on. Co-main event time. This is like a pretty weird fight. I don't know what to think about Kyle Berhalo. I'll be honest. I'm not like the biggest believer in this guy at this point still. Like, there's just something about him that's not right. And he's coming into this fight with Olszewski. And to me, I looked at the line and I'm just like, is Olszewski crippled? Like, does he have a sickness, a disease, a broken leg? Like, what is wrong with Olszewski? because as of right now, he's plus 280 against Kyle Brahalo. I just am kind of curious what Brahalo's done to justify that price or what Olejniczuk's done to justify that price, coming off of 2 straight wins, 2 straight first round finishes. He had a good competitive fight with Dustin Jacoby. He's got that power after failing the USADA test. Grappling wise, he's not great, but is showing at least improvements in that, like he did against Brundage. Kyle Brahalo, obviously has the advantage in jiu-jitsu, but on the feet, I think it's not very close. If I'm being honest, I think Olejniczuk has by far the better ability on the feet, and I think that on the ground, Brahalo's a little bit overrated. He got the contract after getting a decision over Aaron Jeffries and then knocking out Jesse Murray, and then against Armin Petrosian, Muradov, he's not getting these finishes. He's kind of just coasting in a lot of these spots, and I'm just not really seeing this jiu-jitsu wizard or anything like that. I don't really know. I think this fight's really close, so with the odds where they're at, it's making me want to take a shot on Olejniczuk and just not really think about it because plus 280. Am I crazy here, or what do you like? Do I just not have a view on Kyle? I don't think Kyle looks that great on the feet. I think he looks sloppy. I think he looks like he's a guy whose jiu-jitsu works against lower levels and doesn't work as well against the higher levels. What am I missing here that this minus 375 makes sense?
The lines are definitely off. Let me get that out of the way. I think both these guys are overrated. I think Mikhail has been really overrated in some spots. I know a lot of people were picking him against Jacoby. He can get subbed, but yeah, Baraya has not shown this lethal submission threat. Like you said, he does kind of coast, man. He
throws some sloppy kicks once in a while, stuff like that.
I'll say this: I think he can look close to his line if he just grapples, because I don't think Olejniczuk is that good of a grappler. I think he maybe could find a submission, but something tells me he's just gonna fucking be cute about it and try and test his striking. And if he does, yeah, I think Olejniczuk is a live dog. I'm not playing this. I'm passing like a motherfucker. I think the line is too steep.
Plus 300 on a guy who has knockout power in the first at least 2 rounds.
I don't hate that. Just take a fucking stab on Mikhail. I don't hate
or
that.
He just puts a beating on him for the first 2 rounds and survives the third. He has way better experience, faced a way better level of competition.
My worry is that Kaio does just enough. He plays around, maybe gets rocked, does just enough with the grappling, and it's he wins a split.
Kaio's 2 years younger.
Yeah, and it's I don't.
Kaio's only 28 years old. Isn't that crazy?
That's wild. That's pretty crazy, man.
He's been around for a while, and he had a 2-year suspension for juice.
Yeah.
I think that if it gets to plus 300, I don't have a choice. And then Jack explains it a little bit. It's a stylistic cupcake for Kyle because they know if they give him someone with good sub and takedown defense, he's just going to hump the leg. I wouldn't say cupcake though, but yeah, we'll see. I don't. The line is so distracting that it
is. It's hard to. It is that. But I'll tell you this. I will say that I do agree with Jack that if he does grapple heavily, it's hard to see Olejniczuk having the advantage, and it might be really boring and whack, but I can see him just kind of taking the back, kind of fucking with him, not getting the choke, just winning a couple rounds. It's boring as fuck, but I have no interest in touching it. He's way too.
All right, Moy's trying to explain to us Euro trash. So Moy's saying Kyle by submission. So, that's what he should do here. And then locker room, yeah, I've mentioned it a couple times now. This is a Padilla episode. Fernando Padilla, good friend of the channel and just in general, a good all-around dude, great fighter, deserves this opportunity. And Yeah, he's the thumbnail for a reason. Anybody can say whatever they want. Yeah, I am so beta, Johnny, as you're listening to me. But anyways, yeah, I'm super beta. What can I say? Main event time, beta move, making this the main event. Yadong Song versus Ricky Simone, 5 rounds. My first question to you, just my 2 cents. Who do you feel the 5 rounds benefits?
I feel it depends on how they fight. If it depends on how much Simone wrestles, but I feel like it could potentially benefit Song. I
I
just don't
feel
know.
it very much benefits Song.
Yeah,
Um,
if Simone is just grappling, yeah.
yeah, man. And if Simone's not on, like I see a lot of people really heavy on Simone coming into this week, and I get it. He's had a good run, but let's just kind of go back to where he got exposed back in 2019 when he got knocked out by Uriah Faber in 2019. Then he got absolutely tooled up on the feet by Rob Font. What did we see Rob Font do a couple weeks ago against Yanez? Like again, the levels showed that when these prospects go against these different levels, there's just a different level. Split decision with Ray Borg, not great. What does Yadong Song do to Ray Borg? Submits Gaetano Perello, took him 2 rounds. Like again, Gaetano Perello, not really too impressed there. Brian Kelleher couldn't finish him. And really didn't have much to offer Kelleher on the feet. A fight where we're finally going to see the evolution of Ricky Simone, but couldn't really show it. Rafael Assunção finally shows that on the feet some capabilities, gets the knockout there. Probably his best win. The submission of Jack Shore was impressive, but I really think that Yadong Song is much, much ahead of Ricky Simone when it comes to cardio and pace on the feet, and his takedown defense I think is pretty damn good. I can't remember like the numbers off the top of my head, but I get it against Stamen. There are points where he allowed the grappling to ensue too much, and that's what caused that to be a way too close of a fight, and a fight that I think Stamen might have won. But he gets out of that with the majority draw. The Kyler Phillips fight, again, I think Kyler Phillips has a lot more to offer on the feet than Ricky Simone, and he's just kind of had Yadong overthinking in that fight. The fight against Casey Kenny, another fight that I think was, said it was a split. I think Yadong won it pretty clearly. And then overall, I really do like how he's opened up his striking, including in the Sandhagen fight. Yeah, like I think that with regards to Sandhagen, Sandhagen, one of the best guys in the division. I think he learns a lot from that fight, and he had some really good moments as well. I just think that Ricky Simone is kind of that next level down with regards to the tier here. I do think Yadong has the potential to be a level above Ricky, but this is a very close fight. It's a very good fight. I think the 5 rounds on short notice benefits Yadong Song, though. I think he's more got the 5-round game in him. He was preparing for 5 rounds his last fight out, looking good through the 4th round. It was stopped due to a cut, and he really looked to be turning it on late. And I just think that, yeah, I think that for Simone to win this fight, he's got to wrestle for 15 plus minutes. And, again, on the feet, I think he's in a lot of danger. So I'm going to take Yadong Song to win a close decision. I think this is a really good, well-matched fight. I do think the 5 rounds on short notice benefits Song slightly. And I just can't trust Ricky's chin after that knockout against Uriah Faber. And I don't think it's been too tested in his last 5 out. So I don't forget the Faber fight. And I think that Song might knock him out, but I'll say decision.
Yeah, so I do like this fight. It's a good, like, for a card that really is pretty fucking shallow. This is a good main event. It's a good where are these guys at in the division as far as like the top 10. I agree with a lot of what you said, and I'm not gonna bury the lead, dude. I am on Song Yadong. I
Really?
bet him. Yeah, I bet him on Monday. Got him.
Okay.
I got him at plus 108.
Nice.
So yeah, I agree with pretty much everything you said. Like, and here's another thing people aren't mentioning. Yes, Song Yadong, like Ricky. Not only did Ricky get knocked out by Uriah Faber, but
Deaded.
Song is Uriah's boy. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Now, this might sound a little conspiratorial.
Nope.
There is something about Faber fighters like Macy Barber. Like, there's just something like Faber. I don't know what Faber has on Dana. I don't know what it is, but Faber fighters seem to win. So if it's close, I still like Song to win a greasy split with that Faber narrative. But I think that with Song Yadong's takedown defense, it's not going to be close on the feet. I think even if Simone does get takedowns, Song Yadong has a good get up game, and he's a team alpha male, and he's training with wrestlers all the fucking time. I'm sure for this camp they have done nothing but like just take like sprawl and brawl, baby, and that's what I expect Song to do. And yeah, I don't like Simone's chin, and I think Song knocks him out. So
Yeah, and I think with regards to the small cage, I usually lean towards a grappler or wrestler. I think in this case, with it being 5 rounds, I think the small cage benefits Song Yadong because again, we saw like Song turning it on in that 4th round before it got stopped due to that cut against Corey Sandhagen. And I think if Simone is struggling for takedowns later in the fight and having to kind of avoid the strikes a little more, he's going to have trouble getting away from a Song. I see a ton of people on Ricky this week.
that's surprising, dude.
I see a ton of people on Ricky. You're the first person I've talked to who's also on Song. So
Really,
I'm
dude,
seeing a
that
lot
is
of
that is very shocking to me, man. Dude, Corey Sandhagen would fucking obliterate Ricky Simone, dude. They wouldn't even make that fight. Like, yeah, I think
Song's stock went up from that loss for me.
I think so too. And it got stopped from a cut. Like he was still in there trying to get his own work done, and he's pretty tough. He
Fuck.
can he
Clint
can take a
Song.
he can take a punch. Like he's young too, man. He's
Yeah.
just like he's pretty young.
And
Like
he just like a lot of his wins aren't like really that impressive, but he's winning these fights. Again, the draw against Stamen, I think, was a hugely valuable fight. Also, 3 rounds. Um, has Ricky trained for 5 rounds before? Was the Uriah Faber fight a 5-round fight?
let me see. Let me see. I can't see. I don't think so because I don't think it was a main event. That was on Durandamy versus Ladd. That
Oh
was
yeah, so it was a co-main. It was the co-main. It was leading and because then Durandamy just killed her. Yeah, so Ricky, I don't believe has trained or has fought 5 rounds before. This will be his first time fighting 5 rounds, doing so on short notice with a very wrestling heavy game plan, which
like
takes
he.
yes.
I guess I get that. Like people like his winning streak, and it's been impressive. Like he's been like impressing me. But I don't think that Kelleher and Sun Sao and Jack Shore are as dangerous as Song Yadong. They definitely don't hit as hard.
They don't
And
fight like Song either. Like
dude,
Jack Shore doesn't want to strike; he wants to grapple.
yep, and Song Yadong is another fighter that's coming into his prime. I don't think like that experience over Sandhagen is good shit, and Simone is not that level of threat.
And then Jack making a fair point here. Most similar stylistic matchups for either is Stamen and Faber. Both should have lost, but Song got a robbery. Yeah, Song did not get knocked out or submitted in 46 seconds by Cody Stamen. That's for sure. Like I remember I was so on Ricky too. I had a huge bet on Ricky that night. And it was like a very good night of bets so far. I was just sitting back. I was like, there's no way Ricky loses to the senior citizen. And boy, was I wrong. And who's in his corner? Uriah. So give me the dog Song here. He is even money still, so plus 100. Really quickly, yeah. So really quickly before we take off, the Zhang Li 5-fight parlay is at plus 1338, and the 5 participants in that will be Stephanie Edgar, at minus 300. I have her at right now. Not crazy about it, is what it is. I got Charles Johnson. I've got Jake Collier. I've got Josh Quinlan, and I got Fernando Padilla because, of course, I have Fernando Padilla. Like, are you kidding me? You really had to wonder if he wasn't going to be in the parlay. Plus 1338. Put $20 down on it and save the money off the McDonald's you were going to buy anyways. So overall, I have a lot of personal intrigue in this card. I think it's better than some of the latest Apex cards, but overall, I think the Apex is something that needs to go. I think it'd be okay if the UFC took weeks off, but we know that's not going to happen. 2 cents. Appreciate you making it on the show. Appreciate you wanting to be here. I never want anybody here in the chat or on the panel who does not want to be here. So thank you for always putting in the time, helping me sort out my game plan here. It's always great to talk to you. What you got coming up the rest of the week?
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, dude. It is always great to be here. Always have a good time doing this. I'm pretty sure I will be back Friday for the weigh-in show. Yeah, all I got so far on this card, now that my fucking pimp tight Journey Newsom bet got fucking voided because Kelleher is a fucking ducking ass jobber. Now
Journey,
dude, now I can jump aboard the Fernando Padilla train. I'm all aboard, and I will probably have a couple other greasy plays to round out my slate that I will drop on Friday. But no, man, thank you very much for having me. It's always a good time. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Best of luck, everyone. Let's all fucking get rich or try.
Yep, and on to a new era on the Aaron the Dog show. Just me and 2 cents. We'll see along the way. But I mean, it's it's not easy to really put in the effort and break down these cards every week, and it's harder when it's with people who don't want to be here. So again, I really do appreciate you wanting to do this. 2 cents, like, in all sincerity. Like,
oh yeah, it's not. It's definitely not a It's definitely not a chore for me. It's something that I look forward to every week.
Yeah.
It's a good time. It's a good stream, and this is a great channel. And it's dude, it helps me out, and it's just it's fun. I like doing the shit.
Yeah, that's all we're trying to do in here. I appreciate all 15 in the chat: Johnny, Moise, Justin, Jack. I mean, all the you guys are all great. Bo, thank you for the update with the McGee news. I'm glad we could get that in there. But yeah, overall, I'm excited about this card. I'm looking forward to it. As long as Fernando Padilla wins, I could care less about the rest of it, though, man. Not even from a betting perspective. Go out there, Fernando. Give him hell. You deserve this, buddy. Can't wait to talk to you soon. All right, everybody. Peace out. I will be back. I already gave the Zhongli parlay. Moise, I gave it 2 seconds ago. But I'll give it again really quick since Moise wasn't listening. Zhongli 5-fight money line parlay: Stephanie Edgar, Charles Johnson, Jake Collier, Josh Quinlan, and Fernando Padilla. So nearly all 5 fights in a row, actually, for one of the first times ever. Plus 1338 is the parlay. Best of luck to Fernando Padilla. Give him some love. And I will see you guys most likely tomorrow. I will be covering the Cage Warriors event. So I will be covering that, which is also on Saturday. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Cage Warriors 153 breakdown. Peace.